Welcome back to a daily dose of good news. Greta Thunberg, someone I'm sure you will all have heard of. Now aged 17, this Swedish girl has become the face of the drive for coordinated action across the world to tackle climate change. In an interview with the BBC last week, she said that the world needed to learn the lessons from coronavirus and treat climate change with similar urgency. She and many others believe that we cannot put off until tomorrow making drastic changes to the way we live. In today's passage from Dr. Luke's testimony, Jesus makes a similar plea. Be dressed, ready for service, and keep your lamps burning, like men waiting for their master to return from a wedding banquet, so that when he comes and knocks, they can immediately open the door for him. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them watching when he comes. I tell you the truth, he will dress himself to serve, will have them recline at the table, and will come and wait on them. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them ready, even if he comes in the second or third watch of the night. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Peter asked, Lord, are you telling this parable to us or to everyone? The Lord answered, Who then is the faithful and wise manager, whom the master puts in charge of his servants to give them their food allowance at the proper time? It will be good for that servant, whom the master finds doing so when he returns. I tell you the truth, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose the servant says to himself, My master is taking a long time in coming, and then he begins to beat the men servants and maid servants, and to eat and drink and get drunk. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces, and assign him a place with the unbelievers. That servant who knows his master's will, and does not get ready, or does not do what his master wants, will be beaten with many blows. But the one who does not know, and does things deserving punishment, will be beaten with few blows. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked. Jesus has referred to himself as the Son of Man on a number of occasions in his testimony. Today, he warns the listeners that he will return at a time when they are not expecting, and that they'd better be ready. While this may have seemed strange to those listening to Jesus in his day, we have the benefit of hindsight. Jesus was still with them. He hadn't gone anywhere. So how could he be coming back again? For us, we know our history. Jesus is going to die on a cross. He's going to rise up from the dead, then ascend into heaven. So when he says, I'm going to come back again, it makes more sense. But do we really live like we really believe it? Jesus could return at any time, as he says in this passage. Are we ready for that? Are you ready for that? See you tomorrow.